The year is 5532, and Lolo Industries is accepting the award for the most productive and efficient colony ever founded. You know, when I was chosen to found a new colony, I knew this world would finally recognize my brilliance. Its untold riches would fuel the greatest colony ever built.
We'll be landing in a few minutes. Everyone should start preparing.
You know your wife is missing a few screws, right?
I'll have you know. I triple-checked our inventory manifests. Nothing is missing.
Please, just get ready.
Hello. Welcome to Wayne Builds Worlds. We are here with a new series starting today. We're here today with RimWorld, which is sort of a futuristic survival game. We've got, of course, our three survivors. We've got Lucie, Lolo, and this is Louie. And as you see them down here, this is Louie here. This is Lolo here and Lucie here. They just landed, and I paused the game just to take a look at this initial screen. I have not looked to the north, south, east, west of here. I've only seen what you're seeing right here. So let's just take a brief look at what's going on. Right up here in the northern spot of the map, we see what looks like some sort of ruins. And this may be helpful. We have a door here, and we have some walls, and we have a table. These are columns, and this is a sarcophagus. That's probably not something we're gonna need, but the rest of the stuff could be helpful. We need to build a base here, and we already have some of the walls built around here, so it might be a good place to start building. We also have some supplies down here. So we have medicine. This is a flak vest, so some armor. Steel slag. We've got some food. Flak pants. We have a pet monkey. Some components. A weapon. Another weapon. So we are starting with some stuff. And then if we look over here, we have some deer. Or a ram, actually. These are not deer, these are rams. We have some steel over here, which is going to be helpful for building as well. There seems to be a broken down car as well. We have some, I zoomed in a little bit. Zoomed out a little bit. And we have some wood down here. So these are going to be helpful. Okay, we got berries here. This is food. So what do we want to do? Well, first of all, what we want to do is we want to set up somewhere for them to live. Obviously, they want shelter. They want a roof over their head. But in addition to that there are creatures in this game that are violent. These here will not attack. These alpacas, I didn't even notice these alpacas here. These alpacas will not attack. But there are things that will attack, so we want to create a safe spot for them. And then there are bad guys that may come in here and try to raid us or try to attack us, and we want someplace safe to be. So the first thing we want to do is we want to build a common room, which is going to be our base at the beginning. Right, so we're just gonna have a single room, and then we're gonna spread out from there. We want to eventually get to the place where Lucie can have her own bedroom, where Lolo and Louie can have their own bedroom. They're married, so they can share one. That will make it a lot better for them. They prefer to have some privacy at times, and also if they're injured or sick, it's nice that they could have their own room that they can go off to and rest in. But that's not as big of a priority right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look down here at Architect, and it is not here. Okay, there was a mod that I was expecting to use, and I apparently didn't load it for this game. So let me check on that.
So let me understand this correctly. We landed on a hostile frontier world without installing critical infrastructure support systems.
Lo, it was one missing mod. Mistakes happen.
One missing mod? One missing mod? If I had handled deployment myself, it would have been done correctly the first time.
Do you even know what a mod is or how to install one?
I need to count the coin now. Make sure they all arrived.
Okay, so here we are on the main menu. This is the mod list. These are all the mods that I had before. I do not have them equipped. If they're on the left, they're not equipped. The ones on the right here are equipped. This is a general one that is used by other mods. So this one down here requires this. That's why it's in here. This is the main game. These are the DLC. So I have those loaded. And I wanted this more planning mod. What this allows is for you to create these squares on the world so you can draw out different rooms, different planning for where you want to build. It doesn't really change the gameplay itself, but it does allow you to map things out. Now, normally when I'm playing, I can look at something maybe in my head and say, this is where the room's going to be, but that's a little bit harder with you watching, seeing what's in my head. So this will allow me to kind of show you what I'm thinking a little bit easier, and that's why I wanted it. So basically we have this drawing type mod and no other real mods. And here we are right back in. So I did not save that last time because I had it paused basically the whole time. So this is about a second earlier than where we were before. These are the pods that they land in. I think I had it before where they had just exited the pod. So let's just get them out. Okay, so the pods are now open. And they are now out. So if we go under architect here, now we have planning, so I'm able to draw things out. Let me just take this black here because that matches well, and we're going to just fill in some of these spots here that this is where we want to build. There's a wall. I'm trying to reuse as much of the wall as I can. This door is gray, so why don't we actually put a door down here, and maybe a door here. And should we put one on top? Let's maybe put one on top as well. So this is going to be what our common room is going to look like. Now, one of the first things we need to do is kind of clear some of this out. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take this and we're going to say, hey, chop this tree. The other way that you could do is do this and do an area instead of selecting just that tree, but it's the only tree that's in there. The other thing that we want to do is we want to take this zone and we're going to put a dumping zone. And for now, let's just throw the dumping zone down here. So what that's going to do is it's going to tell our folks here that this is where the trash goes. And as you can see, we've got some stuff in here that we might not want. So we want to get that cleaned out. We also want to move this stuff here into the base at some point. Because things that are on the ground are going to deteriorate. So they need to be on shelves.
Better like and subscribe. It's just clicking a few buttons. It's free after all.
No, seriously, we appreciate it.
And leave a comment or two. How are we doing? And tips or suggestions.
So how do we get people to do things? Well, if you go under work here, what this does is it lists off all the people that are in your colony. So we've got Lucie, Lolo, and Louie. And it says the things that they can do and the priority that they will do them. So if there's a fire, all 3 of them are going to prioritize putting out the fire. If they're hurt or sick, the second thing they're going to do is say, hey, you know what? I've got to go rest. I've got to go lay down. Louie is the only one that's capable of being a doctor. So if actually I think Lolo can be as well, but we don't have her turned on. So if you look here, we've got Louie, who has a skill of 5, and she only has a skill of 4 in medicine. So we have this one disabled. She will not try to tend to somebody. The only time that's going to be important is probably if something happens to Louie. He won't be able to be a doctor himself. We don't really care about child care because there's no children here. Basic, these are things like turning on light switches, things like that. Anyone can do that. Watching prisoners. This is taking care of animals. This is cooking food. This is hunting. This is building things. So Louie is going to be the only person who is going to build these walls. Lolo can grow food. She can mine food. She can cut down trees and get crops off of the food that she grows. She can smith. She can make clothes. Lucie can do art. Lolo can craft. All of them can carry things. All of them can clean. And Lolo is able to do the research tasks. Now, they're going to basically, if they're just standing there doing nothing, they're going to look for something to do, and you assign things to be done, and they're going to try to do whatever is available that's the furthest on the left. What that's going to mean is if we want this door to be built here, we have to say, hey, I want a door here. And then the next thing that has to happen is the materials to build the door have to be carried over and placed down here, and that's using the hull. And then once the materials are all there, then the person who can construct will come over and try to build that door. The reason it's done this way is for efficiency. See, everybody can haul, but only Louie can construct. So we don't want Louie carrying a bunch of the materials back and forth when he could be building the walls, right? So by having the people who are not building carrying the things over, Louie is going to be able to focus on constructing things. So everything that you're doing in this game is kind of teamwork. So you have some people doing something, some people doing other things. So you have to kind of keep this in mind. And you also want to make sure that there are plenty of things to do so that people are always busy. Now, if you're running out of food, for example, the cook skill is necessary. So that's going to be Louie. But if Louie's too busy being a doctor, or Louie's a patient right now, or he's taking care of a child, he's not going to be cooking, right? And if he's cooking, he's not going to be building. So you have to kind of watch that because they're only going to do one thing at a time. So let's go in here and let's start actually mapping this out. So we want structures. We want to start using wood, and that's not the strongest material, but it's one of the cheaper materials. So let's throw down our 3 doors there, and let's take our wood wall, and we'll fill in all the area here that needs these walls built. Right? So here is this, and then the next thing we want to do is we want to start putting some shelves in here as well. So let's just throw some shelves in the north part of this. So once I unpause this, what they're going to do is they're going to do things based off of this work. So Louie's going to be looking and saying, hey, can I build any of this stuff? Well, he's not going to be able to because nothing's been hauled. So all three of them are going to start hauling the stuff over. And then once some of these squares have enough material to build things, then Louie's going to start switching over from hauling to building. So we'll turn it on the regular play so this can happen. And they are not, what is he doing? He is cutting the oak tree, right? So he is cutting the oak tree. Why is he cutting it? Is that a basic task? I thought that was under plant cut. Apparently he's doing that. What is she doing? She's harvesting a plant. And where did Lucie go? Lucie she found a dead deer and she is putting that away. That is not helpful. So one of the things too is these X's on it. These X's say, can we use it? Can we not use it? Right? So we have some wood down here and it's on not allow. So no one's going to touch it. So let's turn that on to allow, because right now they are only moving the wood that's from the trees that they're cutting down. So they're not going to try to build anything because they don't have the wood for it unless we enable it. So you see how this has brown here? This means the materials are now there. The ones that are blue it's awaiting the materials. So what is he doing now? He is still cutting that oak tree. So they are not going to immediately switch to their new tasks. They'll finish the task that they're on, and then as soon as he's done with this tree, he is taking forever. As soon as he's done with it, yep, he carried it over, and now he's starting to build. And you see there's an actual piece of wall here. So this is good that he's starting to do that. And we actually have some wood to build this shelf. That's good. Speed this up a little bit. Let's just pause for 1 second and take a look over on the right. I know I haven't explained everything here. I'll explain it as some of the stuff becomes important. But we see here that colonists needs beds. We kind of know that. None of the colonists have beds. The next thing is that Lucie had discovered an ancient monolith. That is where? That is up here. It's this thing right here. We don't want to mess with that right now. We're just going to leave that alone because I don't know what that does. It's been a while since I've played this game and I don't want to touch it. What we do see here though is we have a steam geyser. This is kind of nice because if we place like a generator on top of this, we can make electricity from it. So that is kind of helpful. Do we have any more of those around that are closer? We do not. Here's actually, ooh, what is this? Ancient generator. Oh, I don't know if these work or not. These probably don't. Okay. So let's go back to them working. Okay, so this is kind of in the way. I'm going to deconstruct this. So they're going to take away this wall that was there. This is here. This is a bed, I guess. I'm not really wanting that here. It's kind of in our way. We'll mark this as needing to be hauled. We'll mark these as needing to be hauled. And we have a bush here. Let's harvest it first. We're going to harvest it, and then we're going to have to cut it because this is going to be indoors. We don't really want plants right indoors here. And then is this another? Oh my goodness, there's another tree growing in here. This is another berry bush. We don't want any of this here. So the next thing we want to do, of course, is we want to get our beds. So they're going to be under furniture. And we're going to, let's see, so 45 wood versus 85 wood. We'll do a wooden bed here. This is for Lucie. And then for Lolo and Louie, we'll throw that there. Obviously, they're going to want their own rooms at one point. We will do that, but for now, we're getting this room set up. So let's have them work on this. One of the things that you've probably seen, this is red, so it means we don't have enough wood. We don't have enough wood. So we've got some trees to cut down. We've got some wood here, but it is not enough. We've got more shelves to build, all this stuff. So let's take a look here. And under orders, we're going to chop the wood. So we're just going to chop everything here. And we'll just do that. So when they're free, they'll do this. Let's, you can move this steel. That's fine. Let's allow moving this steel as well. Now, one of the things I want to make sure here is that Lucie is our farmer, but also keep in mind that she is our soldier, right? So she is good at melee. She's good at shooting as well. So she has these skills. So we're going to want her to take this. We're going to want her to take... Hitting the wrong thing. We're going to want her to take this helmet. We're going to want her to take these pants. I thought there was one other. Here it is. We want Lucie to take this, right? So oh, she's only able to do one at a time. Okay. Alright, so Lucie is all geared up. If we take a look at her, she's got the helmet. She's not wearing the vest. Why did she not want the vest? Put that vest on. Why won't she wear the vest? There it is. Now she's got the vest. So she is got all of her armor. She's got her weapon. That's going to allow her to both hunt and protect everybody. Now, Louis, if we look at him, he is incapable of violence. He's not able to hunt. He's not able to protect himself. He is going to run no matter what happens. If we look at Lolo, Lolo can protect herself to a certain degree. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell Lolo to grab this. Just in case. We're not going to use her for hunting. We've got other things that we can assign to her. But for now, she can do that. That will be helpful. Now let's check on them, see what they're doing. She is cloud watching. He is cloud watching. And Lolo, of course, is working. The ever-efficient Lolo is working. So there's stuff to do, but as you see, sometimes they're going to take a break. That they're going to get exhausted. They're going to want to lay down and recover from that. So let's go under here, and we've got floors, and we're going to take this wood floor. And we're going to put everything with wood floor. And then over zone, build roof. I believe roofs do not cost anything. Floors and walls and doors, all that do. The roofs are not going to cost anything from what I understand. And please remember, if I'm making any mistakes, if there's things that you think would be done differently, done better, done more efficient, whatever they are, please leave a comment below and inform us of it. The more that we learn, the better that all of us will be at things. So I'm just letting them know, hey, you can take this stuff and put it on the shelves. Louis is eating. So every day They're going to eat food. So we need to make sure that we have enough food. See, he's building the roof now. He's building the roof now. So we need to make sure that we have enough food. Okay, so it is getting close to night. We can see this starting to get dark. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to just assign these sleeping spots. Probably shouldn't have put that there. Oh wait, that's double bed. We don't want that. We want the sleeping spot. And then we want the animal sleeping spot. So how do I select it? Whoa, I do not want that. I got the bed. Okay. Can I cancel this? Cancel the bed. Okay. So I've at least charted out some spots that they can sleep on the ground. Not the best, but they have spots indoors to sleep. You see construction botched. What that means is that sometimes there is a chance to, as he's building something, to not do what he's supposed to do, and that ruins some of the materials. So that's important to keep a watch on, that your construction person or whatever it is, that they are doing tasks that are ones that are going to be things that they are skilled at. If they're lower skilled, there's a higher chance of messing that up. I found some wood that was over here that was not marked as being able to be carried. Not sure why the game defaults to the starting materials not being able to be carried. There's nowhere to carry them to at the beginning of the game, so you'd only carry them once you start building things. What you can do, though, is you can go onto these shelves and you can actually go under storage and you can say, hey, what do I want to put here? I only want food on this one. I only want raw materials on this one, whatever it is. So that way you can organize it a little bit better. If you build a kitchen, for example, you may want to only put the food in there, and you don't want to have clothes sitting in the kitchen, right? So you're able to do that. Are we getting materials back? Yes, we're getting bricks back for the floors because there was an actual flooring on some of this. You see these have bricks, so we're getting refunded for those as we're building over it. They still haven't done this one. I don't know why they're not wanting to build that one. I think it's getting dark again. Okay, so before it gets too dark, oh, Lolo's already sleeping. So what we want to do is we want to set the owners to this. This is Lucie's bed, and this bed is going to be for Lolo and for Louie. So that way they will sleep there, and they won't sleep on the floors anymore.
It's not much, but at least nobody's sleeping on the floor tonight.
I've slept in worse places.
I haven't.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
I have standards.
Lo,
Once the floor gets fixed here, I'll go through and I'll remove those temporary sleeping areas. It's kind of hard to see what's going on with all that going on right now. So while they're sleeping, I'm gonna just go under planning. Now that we've removed plans, so that removes all these little squares that we built. So now that we're not looking at them anymore, I don't think we need them. So Lolo is up. She is busy going around. Lucie is sleeping and she is awake again. Need defenses. Okay, so we have 2 messages over here. We need defenses, and our food is getting low. So there's a couple different ways that we can get food. We can harvest these berries, and that's going to bring berries in. However, we don't necessarily want to be eating those berries raw. We want to cook those into food. We want to make meals out of them. So one of the things that we can do is go under production, and we can build a fueled stove. We have electric stove. This will work once we get electricity. We don't have that right now. We're going to build this fuel stove, and what that's going to require is having wood. So we're going to need to fill it with wood, and then let's throw some chairs around this table. We can use that as our dining room table. Hey, what's better than eating on an ancient stone table that we found in the middle of ruins? We're also going to need some torches, so let's throw some torches around here. There. Okay, so they will get to work with those. And you can see there's a bunch of different things that we can add in here under different categories. Okay, so now I can see these areas, so let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. We'll keep this one. Actually, no. Let's not keep that one. Let's put this animal sleeping box. Oh. We can't build it out of wood. Can we build it out of sandstone? Well, we have those bricks. Might as well. Just throw that there. So then our monkey will get their own bed, which is good. As you can see over here, our food, or our kitchen, needs wood. So as they cut wood, someone will need to haul that over. Let's get rid of this, too. That's kind of close, and we could use the wood. So we've got chairs, so now not only can we eat there, but we can rest there, sit there, whatever. This is now ready, except for that chair. See? She's now, Lucie now ate at the table. That's good. Go Frenzy. What just happened? Thanks to the high mood, this is Louis. He has an inspiration. He's now going to move faster for 8 days. Great. That is wonderful news. He's now eating. Visitor. Okay, an abandoned child from this tribe is visiting the colony. Her name is Purple Pico. She seems to have a few items to trade. Where is she? She's down here. And where are we? We're up here. I think she's going to slowly make her way closer to us. And what we want to do is we want the person who has the best social skills, and that is definitely Louis, to be the one to talk to her. We have silver right here, 800 gold, or 800 silver, obviously. Money. So, why does he have... Oh, that's a light bulb. I thought that was like he's sick or something. Speed it up. Is she on her way over? Here she is. She is coming. Oh, wait, look down here. We have another one of those things that can be helpful for electricity. I'm not sure which one will be better for us. But let's... Okay, she is here. She's getting closer. So let's take Louis. And Louis, we want you to trade with Purple. Right? So we just click on her, right-click on her, and gives a couple different options. So he's now going to come over. He's going to talk to her. Okay. This is a type of food. These are the packaged food. components, medicine, beer, the knife, a bow, children's clothes, it appears, synthetic pants, and then we have our monkey, medicine, steel, and jade. They're not willing to buy these. They're not willing to buy these things. Obviously, I don't think we want to sell any of that. If we go this way, we're buying them. If we go this way, we're selling it. We don't really want to sell anything because we don't have anything that we can necessarily... we don't have anything that we've necessarily like been able to build here that we can get more and more of, so we don't want to do that. However, there is this medicine. Let's see the 4 of those, so that will cost us 48. And what if we buy all of this stuff? This is... Okay, so this is a preserved food that doesn't need refrigeration. So maybe let's pick up some of that. That will be good to have in an emergency. Food needs to be refrigerated. So let's accept this. As you see, we do not have any refrigeration. So as we create food, as we take these berries and we make food out of them, the food is going to rot because it has not been frozen, not been refrigerated. So we will need to build refrigeration. That's going to require electricity. Can we... He's asleep. No, he's doing something. Is there anything else? We can only trade with them. Okay. So sometimes we can get friendly with some of these visitors and convince them, hey, join us. You know, join our group. So what we're going to do is, in anticipation of that, let's build a wood-fueled generator. We'll throw it here in the corner. And that's going to build electricity by throwing wood into it. And right now, that's our best thing. That if we look under power... Now, we don't see... We have a wind turbine. This is great because it doesn't use any fuel. It's going to use wind. However, it needs to be windy. So if we're on a day without wind, they're not going to work, and we're going to lose our electricity, and our refrigeration is going to get... It's going to get too hot, and this food's going to spoil. Let's set the owner here to our monkey. Let's have him sleep in an actual bed. So right now we're going to do a wood-burning generator. It's not the best thing, but it works. And what we want to do is... Let's turn this here into... what do we want to do? So let's do planning. So, okay, so again, this is our common room. We're going to want to build other rooms off of this. We're not going to want them sleeping in here forever. We're not going to want the storage in here forever. This is the room where we're going to have activities. We're going to have, you know, the dining is fine to be in here. But even the kitchen, we're not going to want the kitchen to be in here. It would be good to have the kitchen refrigerated as well. So that way, as they're preparing the food and everything, that it's not going to go to waste. So let's go in here. We've been using black as our walls, right? We're going to do that. And we got gray as our floor, our doors. So we'll just mark that blue for the time being, so we can see, hey, the floor needs to go here. So anything that's in this area, not that the black wasn't doing that already, but anything in that area, this needs to be cleared out. This here, we're eventually going to move up here. So let's take this purple and we'll mark that. So that's going to be this over here. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have some shelves. So we're going to have shelves. They're all 2 each. So we'll start with that. And here's the thing about refrigeration. You're going to have to put kind of like a wall air conditioner in here, and on one side it's going to cool and it's going to make hot the other side. So the problem is, if we put it here, let's say, this is going to get cold, but this room's going to get really hot from the exhaust of that cooler. So it needs to be on an exterior wall. Now, right now you might look and say, oh, well, all of this is exterior. But eventually we're going to want to build around here. So we're going to want to take a look and say, well, which side of this are we least probably going to build in? Well, this is all protected over here. So we're not going to want to build this way. So this way is most likely where we're going to put it. We're going to put it right here. We'll just put it there, mark it in yellow, so that way we can tell it's electricity, yellow, lightning, whatever the case is. So we'll do that. So that's our plan for our kitchen. So what do we want to do with our bedrooms? Well, let's look at our bedrooms while we're here as well. So let's take our floor color. I think this is the color that we used. And let's chart it out that we want a 5x5 area. And we want another 5x5 area. And those are going to be our bedrooms. And we're going to build a wall here, a wall here, and a wall here. And we're going to have a wall down the middle, and then we're going to have a door right in the center. We're going to move this bed is going to be here. The other bed is going to be here. Now this here, we don't want people just walking around outside either. So we're going to take that and we're going to make this a hallway. Right, so that way, and let's put another door there. We don't necessarily have to build this quite yet, but at least we're charting this out. So what does this do? This tells us that, hey, if we're gonna chop wood, we're gonna chop wood here, and we're gonna chop wood here, because we're gonna have to clear this area out. So we might as well chop down the trees where we're building stuff. Let's speed this up. He's busy building this thing. That is good.
Finally, unlimited power.
You know it's not actually unlimited?
What?
We have to keep feeding it wood.
Correction. You need to feed it wood.
We need to get back to work.
Okay, so I turn this off. So someone has to come over and manually turn this off, but it's not going to run. We don't need it running. We have it built, but we don't need it running yet because the only thing that needs it so far is this air conditioner that we haven't even built yet. So why run a generator that does nothing? So we've built it. We've got it stored. That's great. But there's that. Now the thing about food, okay, so at these crafting tables, right, they work off of something called bills. They're not going to automatically start making food. Even if we have the supplies, they will not start making the food unless they're told. So this is the add bills. So we could say, hey, make meals based off of vegetables or fruit. Well, we have those berries. So this will take the berries and it will convert it into meals that people can eat. This is the meat version of it. This is just a simple one. Some people like vegetarian, some like carnivore. There is fine, there's lavish. Using more food is going to make people happier. We're not going to do that quite yet because we don't have this room built yet. So I don't want to build a whole bunch of food and then we don't have shelves and air conditioning that's needed to keep the food good. I'm not sure these See, this is going to spoil in 13 days. So these are going to rot as well. See, there's just so much of this that's not done. So I don't really want to go crazy building a bunch of stuff for him to build, because he's the only one that has the skill of building. Wait, he's starting to catch up. This is good. This is good. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. One thing here I've noticed, you don't have to do this, obviously, but I noticed underneath these doors, we don't have wood floor there. So I'm going to put that in there just to make it a little nicer. I'm also going to put wood flooring down there. So this, obviously, we're going to start building our kitchen soon up here. And I'm going to put the wood flooring down first. That way we've got it nice and marked out. Okay. Mad rat. Now good. It will attack anyone it sees. This rat is now mad. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark this hunt, right? So we want somebody to hunt it. And that should trigger our Lucie to deal with that. Let's see if she does. She's busy eating. Okay, let's slow it down so we can watch what she's doing. She is running. Let's draft her.
It came out of nowhere.
It was a rat.
A tactical assault rat.
I don't think that's a real thing.
With one goal in mind, complete destruction of our colony on its path to world dominance.
It was eating berries.
That's how they scout, gain intel,
Regular rat.
plotting our downfall. The end is near.
Regular rat. I took care of it.
Well, then, danger averted. Thanks to my careful analysis of the situation.
Alright, so what happened? So draft. That happened really quickly. I didn't have a lot of time to explain. What draft does is it allows you to take that person and now control them. That I'm able to now give them orders to handle, you know, whatever situation it is. So there is this rat. This was the maddened rat. I think we can use it for meat. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think the fact that it was maddened does anything. I think that just means it got angry. I don't think that was a disease or anything like that. So under temperature, this is the cooler. So as you see here, the red, we want outside. That's where it's going to get hotter. The blue is what side's going to get colder. In this vent, what this vent does is you can build it between rooms to, you know, if you wanted, like let's say we wanted to build a little wall here between storage and food prep, but you wanted this to cool both rooms down, you could put this in the wall to allow the air to go back and forth. Just like the cooler, we have the heater. This doesn't go in the wall though. This is just like a space heater, like a floor heater. And then we have this passive cooler, which you put water in it and it cools down the room, but it's not enough to handle the it's not enough to handle the food, like getting it refrigerated. So we don't want to do that. Now it's giving me wood. I don't know if that's because we didn't have any. or not, but now we can build these walls. And then the last thing we need to do here is we need to run power from this to this. So we're going to run it across that wall, across this wall, across this wall, and that should connect all that up. The other thing we want to do is we want to build wooden shells. It's saying they're idle. Why are they idle? They should be... Are they out of wood? Is that the issue? Okay, let's chop some more trees. Alright, let's pause this real quick. What we want to do is we want to set this and we want to say, you know what? We're going to clear all. We only want fresh and we only want food. It's not going to matter if it's raw or prepared, but we're only allowing food in here. And then this one, we're going to clear all and we're only going to allow food as well. And we're going to mark it as critical. So this priority just kind of says, you know, if there's more than one place that it could be, where's the important spot where it's going to be put. And did we build the power? We built the power. So see, these are connected, but this is off, so we're going to turn that on. And someone's going to come over there and just flip the switch to have that burning now. Okay. And now we are given this. Since it looks like we're here for a while, Louis thinks that we should give our faction a name and our settlement a name. Am I able to save the game without doing this? I am not. So... Well, I'm going to have to think up a name. I'll do that for both of these. I was not planning on doing this. Boy, I wish I had saved this beforehand. So I'll think up a name, I'll sign it, and this is where we'll pick up next episode. So remember that if you saw anything in here that I did incorrectly, that if I did not efficiently, or if you have any ideas as we're building this out, something to do better, please leave that in a comment below. That would be very, very helpful. I would love to see that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.